Hello, so my name is Lindsay Dial, and my TED Talk is on servant leadership and its benefits for athletes, coaches, and sports alike. So first, I wanted to talk a little bit about the person who coined the term servant leader, and that was Robert Greenleaf, who first coined the term in his 1970 essay titled "The Servant as a Leader." Greenleaf spent many years studying and pondering servant leadership and its application in the real world, and the concept of the servant leader still has deep roots in today's world. So a famous quote by Greenleaf reads, "The servant leader is a servant first. It begins with the natural feeling that one wants to serve first, as opposed to wanting power, influence, fame, or wealth." So what exactly is a servant leader? A servant leader is someone who, most importantly, is a servant first, and their job is to focus their attention away from themselves and onto those whom they serve, growing and empowering others around them. It's a more holistic and community-centered leadership style that focuses on the well-being of others, and it involves sharing power and involving others in decision-making processes. And this style of leadership actually really naturally aligns well with athlete-centered coaching, as in the sports world, a servant leader really helps athletes grow and become the best version of themselves. And servant leaders have been found to be more motivated, creative, productive, and more productive, which leads to improved results for the team and for individuals. So a few leadership characteristics of a servant leader include humility, authenticity, stewardship, empathy, awareness, and listening. So servant leaders really take the time to build personal relationships with all of their followers and find ways to help each follower and each member of the team achieve their unique goals. So servant leadership and athlete satisfaction. So in a study that included 195 male basketball athletes that were given a questionnaire, it was actually found that athletes who perceived their coach to be a servant leader displayed higher levels of intrinsic motivation, higher levels of satisfaction, they were more mentally tough, and lastly, they had a better team and individual performance. So it's found that the servant leaders' trusting and humble attitude, as well as their focus on basically enhancing and treating athletes well, was a big indicator in that intrinsic motivation. Um, they also found that the results of the study seem to suggest that the keys to promoting mental toughness in these athletes did not lie in like an autocratic or authoritarian or oppressive style, and it actually appeared to ironically lie with the coach's ability to produce an environment that emphasizes trust, inclusion, humility, and service. So overall, servant leaders can really help benefit athletes in a holistic way, and many athletes actually really prefer to have a servant leader as a coach. Next, I wanted to talk about how peer servants, how they can lead and how that helps individuals. So in this study, it was found that peer servant leadership helped increase team cohesion. So they looked at like team captains, and they found that the facilitating team members' perception of similarity and belongingness with the group members, and the importance of being a group member and the positive feelings associated with being a part of the group member was a pathway in which peer servant leadership kind of was associated with cohesion within the sports teams. And the results of the study really provided theoretical support that the athlete leadership is more effective when members have a strengthened identification or self-identification with the group. And when a team captain displays basically congruence with collective team interests and furthering team goals, this really helped foster perceptions of cohesion within the team. Next, I wanted to talk about servant leadership in sport for development. So Sport for Development is basically nonprofit, and it's a way in which they work to develop individuals through sport, develop individuals holistically through sport. And it was actually found that servant leadership is a natural fit for Sport for Development because the emphasis is on serving others and developing followers. They had that natural fit within the or Sport for Development or SFD atmosphere. They found that the servant leaders may help provide the focus on acceptance and inclusivity that was necessary to effectively involve local stakeholders and create programs that are culturally sensitive. Also, servant leaders have been conceptually linked to followers' autonomy, growth, and learning. So overall, servant leadership is a great way for sport for development to get involved. So I wanted to focus on a individual who I thought is a great example of a servant leader in sport, and that would be Tony Bennett. So he is the perfect example, in my opinion. I've had the pleasure of actually meeting him, and Tony kind of has the foundation for his basketball team through his five pillars that include humility, passion, unity, and servanthood, as well as thankfulness. So humility, basically, that's being humble in all that you do. Being humble helps form genuine collaboration. And basically, it's just a good way to live your life, being humble, passionate, loving what you do, being confident in what you do, and being committed. Unity, Tony really emphasized we are all one and we are a team. So together we can achieve more than if we were just by ourselves. Servanthood, serving others helps you serve yourself. So when you make your teammates better, this helps them achieve grow and learn, but it also helps you achieve, grow and learn. And then finally, thankfulness, being thankful for the position that you're in and constantly expressing thanks for all that you have. So this quote here, Tony actually recently retired from UVA as the head basketball coach. And a quote that he gave reads, "I realize I'm no longer the best coach to lead this program in this current environment." So when Tony felt like he could no longer be the best servant to the team, the university, or the individuals that were a part of the organization, he knew it was time to step down. So Tony really sticks to his morals and values, which is something that is big in servant leaders. He left behind a winning legacy and a winning program, but not only that, he was a servant leader and he was a man of honor, integrity, servanthood, and kindness who always put others before himself, and that was very apparent and very evident. Because Tony is a servant leader, not many other basketball coaches, I would say, are servant leaders. So just he conducted his coaching in a different way than many others did, yet he still produced a winning team despite this different approach. And I think that really speaks to how beneficial servant leadership really can be. So a few closing thoughts that I have is that servant leaders really focus on others around them, focus on lifting others up, and less on themselves. They listen and empathize with others. Listening is a big thing. When they listen, they can take that and put it into action and help others achieve their goals. Servant leadership is not about power, rank, or status. You feel called to serve and you act as a guide to lead others. And so the power, rank, or status isn't important to servant leaders. And they're really there because that's what they feel that their calling is. Additionally, servant leaders, as I have talked about in this presentation, help increase motivation, satisfaction, performance, belonging, and really just help develop the athlete holistically. And I think servant leaders are a great choice if you're going to be a coach. And I think that hopefully you can consider these things that I've talked about and apply servant leadership into your coaching style. And here are my references. Thank you.